So guys, I told y'all I was gonna bring y'all a video on Wednesday and Friday. I ain't gonna hold you. I ain't really feel like recording. Man, my man up here being wild. I ain't really feel like recording yesterday. And like the process for me is a bit tricky because y'all see that? Anyway, the process is a bit tricky because I gotta do like to be successful on YouTube, right? When you don't have no other like platform that you big on and you're trying to climb up the ladder and all of the stuff, it takes a certain level of mimicking, right? You got to see, okay, look, this is what's popular, this is what's viral, this is what's going on, like this is what people are searching, and then make a video about that. Makes sense. But what if you don't really want to talk about that? You know what I'm saying? Like, what if that's not what you want to talk about? Then it becomes tough because then you got to muster up the thing and be fake for real. Hey, it's a big pothole, and I don't really want to do that. So, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna make use of this live feature, man, and talk about it. What I wanted to talk to you guys about is how my journey for building my TikTok and what I learned and the rules of engagement and what doesn't work and how to actually like try to monetize it. But what I actually want to talk about, because of something going on in my real life, which is what I was just talking to my daughter about, right, is you reap what you sow. In this world, you reap what you sow. And what we often try to do is sow more than we reap, and sow what we didn't plant and reap what we didn't plant in the first place. We didn't sow nothing, and we trying to reap. You know what I'm saying? We ain't plant nothing, and we want. And here's a real world example. How many people want to do the stuff, right? Y'all want to do y'all big one. You want to do the vacation, boy. You want the money, you want the cars and all of the stuff, but you ain't trying to do the work. Like, that's not what you don't want to do that part. You know what I'm saying? You think you're going to chill your way into success. How that happen? How you going to do that? You got to do something different to get different results. So if so far you've gotten poor results, it's because you sowing poorly. You got to sow better. You got to figure out how do you sow better. And that part is hard, because that part is what really took and consumed my whole 2023. Is like, I don't appreciate what I'm reaping. So let me evaluate what I'm sowing, and then you do your best to sow better. But you don't reap no better because it's funny, because a harvest takes time to grow, and you got to water it, you got to tend to it. I'm talking about you got to keep the pests out, you got to keep the animals out. All of those things, right, is going to give you a different timeline, right? With no pests, it's going to happen faster. But are you going to have a situation with no pests? Obviously not. So you got to prepare for the pest. And by preparing for the pest, you got to tell yourself it's going to take you a little longer than what it might take somebody that been preparing before you was preparing, even if they're younger than you. Because oftentimes we get in this comparison metric like, man, how they got this? How they got that? And they this age? How they did this and this? Because they were sowing different, right? They were preparing differently than somebody that was distracted, that was multiple focused, that thought they had it figured out and had to go 100 miles in one direction just to go 100 miles back to get to zero. Think about it. You know what I'm saying? So that part is tough. It is tough. It's easier to say it, you know what I'm saying, on videos when the people be like, yeah, this is what you do, how you do it, you figure it out. It's easier to say it than to actually put it into practice in the real world. But it has to happen. You can't get nowhere without it. And then the energy that you put out into the world, no matter your circumstances, right? Because nobody's life, I don't give a damn. Oftentimes we see people on TV and we be like, oh, they're rich and famous, and like whatever that means, right? We be looking up to weird people, but nobody's life is void of trials and tribulations. I'm talking about there's people with more money that have trials and tribulation. There's people with less money, trials and tribulation. There's people who live in America, trials and tribulation. People that live in Israel, different trials and tribulation. You know what I'm saying? So it's tough because we all are the stars of our own motion picture, but our movies have to interact with other people's movie, right? My movie has to interact with my son's movie because he's holding the camera. Our movies have to interact. They're not, my movie is not, I forget the word, but it's not separate from his, right? They gotta merge. The movies gotta meet. You know what I'm saying? If my movie don't meet his movie, then something's not getting done. And that right there is one of the tougher parts, because we all act like movie stars. We all treat people, you know, how we feel like they deserve to be treated. Like when they say treat people how you want to be treated, they didn't talk about the fact that oftentimes we don't love us enough to treat us better. You know what I'm saying? We be making weird decisions with us, right? We would prefer to sit more than we prefer to like be active, so we sit more. We want the sweet thing or the this or the fatty food or whatever the situation may be. We want it, so we eat it. We don't say, no, your body deserves fuel and that food ain't fuel. We don't say that. We don't say it might benefit you, right, emotionally to play the game or to watch the little show but you got to do the work. You got to make different decisions right now so you can live differently later. We don't do that. And it's all about self-image. We don't see ourselves as important enough. So then we don't delay gratification long enough to get the reward that's as big as we want to get it. We delay it just enough to get the little small stuff that we able to achieve. And whatever that means for you, right? Whatever, you know what I'm saying? Because there's people with, you know, millions that want billions. They feel like they ain't doing enough, right? There's people with thousands that want hundreds of thousands. They ain't doing enough. Hey, yo. Ready? This way got some weird traffic on it, man. There's people with, you know, dollars that you know, y'all know, there's people without homes that want homes. There's people with homes that don't want to pay that mortgage. Like they would much rather have made a different decision. So it's tough because we don't monitor our energy. We be going through stuff, so then it makes it easy to lash out on others, often those that's closest to us. And because it's easier to lash out, we bite. We like snakes, bro. Like for real. It's easy to lash out on people because we feel like for whatever justified reason in our minds, they deserve it, right? Whatever they did, they deserve to lash. You know what I'm saying? But in oftentimes what they need, right? Not what they deserve. Like people, life is going to give you what you deserve already, right? More than. Life is going to give you more than what you deserve already. That's already in stone. You're going to get that. You know what I'm saying? More negativity, more destruction, more death, more grief. You're going to get more of that than what you deserve. So then why don't we do our best? Because again, I'm in my mind on a scale of 1 to 10 at the thing I'm talking about. I do it at a 3, but it's a strong 3. I do my best to make that 3 go to 3.2, 3. You know what I'm saying? I'm a hard critic, but give people more of what they need and not what they deserve. Like oftentimes when a person is, you know, being snappy like a little poodle, what they need is a certain level of re-encouragement and recorrection in a positive way though. They need positive energy. We don't get no positive energy nowhere. You got to go online to a stranger to go get positive energy, because in real life, most people's going through too much to give individuals positive energy. So then we're not even able to see our blessings because we're working on the next thing. So you gotta have a certain level of duality when you're chasing success. You gotta know that you're blessed for just being born and being human, right? That's the biggest blessing. Don't be born human and born in America, because then you got multiple other blessings that other people that were born human and not born in America don't receive. So there's that. But you have to be aware of your blessings, but also do your best to sow better seeds that have the ability to create the future that you want. Because if you don't, you're going to end up with a present that you don't appreciate, and it's all your fault, and you got to take accountability for it because you ain't doing enough. So with that, guys, that's what I wanted to bring y'all on today's video. That's what's on my heart, and I hope y'all have a peaceful, blessed rest of y'all evening, rest of y'all day, rest of y'all week, rest of y'all month, and the rest of your year. All right, we'll see y'all in a minute.